Let's go! Jayden Daniels film study. Obviously, we're going to talk about the good and the bad. And to me, his best game from last season was against UCLA. And we're going to spend some time on this game simply because you're familiar with UCLA's defense, because obviously in this building, our offense struggled to move the football. And in this building, Jayden Daniels played his best game, arguably, of his career. Now, here he is completing a deep post. That looks like an inaccurate ball. That actually should have been caught in stride for a touchdown. Number 2 should have been able to do a better job of keeping his feet. So obviously, Jayden Daniels in this game, overall as a quarterback, he wasn't as good on the road as he was at home outside of this performance. So you see right here, number 2 runs a really good route to get past this safety. This post route holds this safety deep, and this is a very simple read. Good play action shot to start this quarter right here, and this obviously changed the game right here. And you see, this ball is in stride. That is a really accurately thrown football. Kayshawn doesn't fall right there. This year, I felt Arizona State's running backs were 2 of the best in the country as a tandem, probably the best in the Pac-12, but everywhere else, they just weren't all that great. Now, this is, to me, one of the best Jayden Daniels throws. You saw this a lot versus LSU. They get really exotic, and they look like they're bringing 6. Instead, they drop 2 on this 3rd and 8. Jayden Daniels, in a very clean pocket, decides to not take a shot. He hits a really good out route in stride, as catchable of a football you're going to see. So once again, really good quarterbacking right there by Jayden Daniels. Yes, it's fun to see him hit those deep post routes, but the thing we want to see is hitting these intermediate routes, which are ultimately, oftentimes, what decides the game. Alrighty, so here we go. 1st and 10 on your own 18. They're running a twist stunt right here, okay? Jayden Daniels sees that. Once again, you can hit this tight end right here. But one thing Jayden Daniels is really good at is reading pass rush lane. If you don't remain good, that wasn't good verbiage at all. If you don't maintain good pass rush lane integrity, he's just going to take these yards. And that's what happens here. When they ran that twist stunt, this defensive tackle loses his feet. This DT gets too far upfield. And Jayden Daniels just decides to keep this and do Jayden Daniels things with the football. This is obviously something Myles Brennan can't do. All right, just for context here, we move ahead. UCLA is now winning 20-17, all right? Now, first thing right off the jump here, this guy is offsides. I have no idea how they missed this call. But essentially, Jayden Daniels has a very easy read on this play, okay? Number 19 is getting man-to-man coverage against this nickel safety, whatever you want to call him, right here, and 19 is running a double move. So Jayden Daniels has to like it. Number 19 already scored on a long touchdown screen earlier this game, and he has to know that there's no way that this guy, unless they just bail right now, can help get over the top of number 20 right here. So this is a pretty simple read for Jayden Daniels, and he actually catches a break here because 3 of these guys actually drop out, and 24 actually comes to the blitz. Comes from a delayed blitz. And you see the protection here is perfect. So you see Jayden Daniels immediately sees that this is a matchup that he wants on this double move. All we have to do is execute this. Perfect double move by 19. Pocket is clean as a whistle. And all we have to do is throw this football in stride. And that is exactly what he does. Now, once again, this is a very simple throw and a simple read. But look at where this football is actually placed on the outside shoulder of 19, right in stride. We got all this separation from the double move, and we're getting yet again an explosive play, walk-in touchdown. So here we go. We move ahead later in the game. Now we're on the road here, and it's obviously an Arizona State 1-point lead, and that was a really back-and-forth half of football. So I'll let you know Jayden Daniels is going back and forth with UCLA. And this is, once again, really good quarterbacking right here. You roll out to the right, you get the play-action fake, and we're getting Jayden Daniels in his element right here, okay? Now he manipulates this open field defender. Look at that shake. It is a thing of beauty, and he's still able to make this guy miss a little bit. 16 did a good job recovering, but we're still able to pick up a first down. Boom! So I'm looking at you. Yes, you. Right now, okay? So you saw the opening graphic, right? That Jayden Daniels' best play in this game actually could have been this handoff. Now, full disclosure, throwing the football is way more difficult than obviously handing the football off to a really good running back in Rachaad White. But the reason why I say this could be the most important thing is that everything you've seen up to this point, outside of the few runs, are things that Myles Brennan can do, and arguably he can do better, which obviously is throw the deep ball. Myles' arm is better than that of Jayden Daniels. But obviously, the running aspect is something that Myles Brennan cannot do, and you saw what UCLA's defense was able to do versus us with even Max Johnson at quarterback, right? We tried to run this outside zone scheme with TDP, and we couldn't get anything going. Let's break this down. Number 19 right here, who is destroying UCLA, is going to be in motion right here. Now, that's not the guy I want you to watch, nor is number 24, whose responsibility is number 19. The guy that actually misses a tackle on this play is the backside defensive end, number 45. Now, if you go back and watch our Myles Brennan film studies, in particular the game versus Missouri, you saw at the end of the game, defensive ends were able to make tackles on TDP at the end of that game because they're able to crash down and make a ton of tackles because they don't have to respect Myles Brennan's ability to run the football. Now, for those that watched our Justin Vincent live stream, he did a full film breakdown of his 2003 National Championship game, and his touchdown run actually came on this exact play. Outside zone, but you cut back. You're taught as a running back to cut back if you see everyone over pursuing. So, Rachaad White, a really good running back, actually cuts back a little late. But let's bring it back. Okay, you see all this wasted movement? This hole is right here, but he was late to get in there. Now, the reason why that hole exists is because 45 just saw Jayden Daniels break contain on a run to the outside. So now he knows I for sure have to make sure that I'm responsible for Jayden Daniels. And you notice right here, he has to wait. He has to stop and respect Jayden Daniels. And look at what that does. It opens up this hole just a little bit. And even though White was number 3 here was late to get there, 45 was still able to miss that tackle. White spin moves, and guess what? It's a touchdown. Because UCLA's defense is so aggressive, that cutback angle, and look at this. Jayden Daniels, smart move to not blow this guy up and get a crackback block penalty because of his running ability. And that's the biggest difference between him and Myles Brennan. All right, so just to give you a little extra context here, Arizona State actually decided to go for 2 after that Rachaad White touchdown to make it a 9-point game, and it succeeded, and they just made a huge 4th down stop here. So you would think Arizona State is going to run the football, but to throw it here, you have to really trust Jayden Daniels' decision-making because a safety obviously makes it a one-possession game. So that's something you obviously don't want to do. So Arizona State decides to get aggressive, play action fake. Jayden Daniels rolls out to the right, and he actually throws an absolute dart on his off foot to number 86. And look at where this ball is put, right in the breadbasket. You can't throw the football any better than that. Hits him in stride, and Jayden Daniels was just so accurate in this game. All right, 3rd and 3. What are we going to do? I actually forgot what happens here. Okay, he pulls it, and let's see what happens. Looks like 86 is actually covered right here by 19. So Daniels, oh, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. The only thing I didn't like was slowing down just a little bit with the sticks being right there, but he made the guy miss anyway, and he's still able to pick up the first down. That's just really good stuff. So here we are at 2nd and 14. The one thing we don't want to do in this situation is take a sack and knock ourselves out of field goal range. We get a play action fake here. And this time, you could see that they're further sunk back. And Daniels, once again, reads his pass rush lane and just decides to take these yards right here. The key is making number 91 miss. He's nowhere close. And Daniels cuts upfield. Once again, not an absolute huge gain, but now you're in comfortable field goal range right here, and you make it a manageable third down. Boom, I'm looking at you right now, okay? I just want to make sure you're awake, all right? Because, look, film study can be monotonous at times, and once again, I am not an Arizona State play caller, nor am I Jayden Daniels, so I don't know the full context. These are all my best educated guesses, but obviously in the comment section down below, I want you to tell me, do you prefer Myles Brennan or Jayden Daniels just based off of today's film study? And obviously right here, this is just a really good play call on this 3rd and 3. Little slip right here. They just could not guard number 19 at all. Now, obviously the big question is, why did Jayden Daniels regress so much? Why didn't we see more of this UCLA performance? And what you're looking at now is his game log, and you see his QBR in this game was by far the best that he had all year long, that of 94. Just for reference, Joe Burrow averaged 95 QBR for an entire season. That is really tough to do. It is hard to attain a 94 QBR. But you see, there's also mixed in there a bunch of QBRs under 50, which is a replacement level quarterback. However, something that you also see is Jayden Daniels had more games where he had a 20-yard rush or more than not. And it's really hard to run for 20 yards on one run. So Jayden Daniels is obviously a very explosive athlete, but very questionable accuracy. And you did not see that in this game. More on that in just a second. But for right now, obviously, I do think his struggles of last year with the 10 touchdowns and 10 interceptions is a little overblown because there was so much turmoil on and off the field surrounding Arizona State. And once again, even though the receivers and tight ends looked really good in this game, they simply weren't as good. And look, Jayden Daniels, as a true freshman, had Brandon Ayuk to throw the football to, who is now, after 2 years in the NFL, a really good wide receiver. And then after that, his wide receiver and pass catcher options really fell off a cliff. And look, UCLA, we made them look like the steel freaking curtain, but their defense just simply wasn't good last year. So a lot of Jayden Daniels' success happened because UCLA didn't call an advantageous game. You saw today there was a lot of easy reads in this game for Jayden Daniels to make. So just off of one film study, obviously this UCLA game is hopefully what we see from him, but there was just so much inconsistency. And I know what a lot of you are saying, well, where is this inconsistency? Boom! There will be a video floating in your face. It was from our live stream where Blake Ruffino joined us. And about 40 minutes into this video right here, you can see a quick little film study that we did from the USC game, which was by far Jayden Daniels' worst game. And it was at home where he was better as a quarterback. So once again, that'll be floating in your face in just a second. Obviously, comment down below your thoughts on this entire situation. And boom, I'm going to put a little extra video. If you want to see our interview with Justin Vincent, where he breaks down that ability to cut back like he had when he was at LSU, you can watch that interview right there. It is Power Hour LSU. Boom! I'll link both those videos down below. And we got some really cool things. I had a really fun phone call with someone and today about the channel. Now, tonight, we're doing tacos tonight. Let's go.